tonight. The war in Ukraine has entered a new phase of brutality as Russia seems to be targeting civilians trying to flee their country. The unprecedented shelling of areas where people are evacuating is sparking fear and outrage. Negotiations are ongoing between the two sides, but little progress has been made. Meanwhile, the humanitarian crisis is growing by the hour as millions flee their homes in hopes of escaping the violence. Well, as of tonight, at least 1.7 million refugees have fled Ukraine in the first 11 days of the war, and that number is expected to top 5 million. There's also breaking news out of Kyiv tonight, where for the first time since the conflict began, Ukraine's President Zelensky released this new video of himself in his office in the capital, saying he is not afraid of anyone and will not leave. We've got a team of reporters covering the story, starting with CBS's Charlie D'Agata in Kyiv. Good evening, Charlie.
Good evening to you, Nora. The UN estimates tonight there have been at least 1,200 civilian casualties since the war began. That number is thought to be higher and also climbing as shelling increases across the country.
A Russian jet goes down in flames over the besieged city of Kharkiv as Ukrainian residents cheer. Ukrainian troops on the outskirts of the capital open fire in an effort to keep the Russian advance at bay. But cities are under siege, like Mariupol, where residents have been unable to flee after 2 ceasefires were shattered. A man rushes into the emergency room carrying his 18-month-old son, but doctors are unable to save him. His mother kisses her baby boy goodbye. A savage attack on residents trying to flee Irpin outside the capital was captured by the New York Times. A mother and her children lie dead, deliberately targeting civilians or firing into them with a total disregard for human life. The incident enraged Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. We will not forgive, he said. We will not forget. But today, at least 2,000 people made it across to relative safety. We headed towards that area this morning when we passed through the neighboring village of Horenka. It, too, had become the target of heavy Russian bombardment.
These are the areas that are coming under attack just outside the capital itself now, which has caused so many people to flee in anger and in fear, even as they're coming under attack.
This is what indiscriminate shelling looks and feels like.
And wherever they land, they land. And if that kills civilians, it kills civilians.
This is what residents here have had to live with.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
We reach a children's holiday camp, now a local bomb shelter. Inside, we found the shaking camp deputy turned caretaker, Tatiana.
From the evening till the night, that was very terrible Bach. And every second we checked if we are alive or no, because everything was very moving. There is totally destroyed.
Are you going to be okay? You look very frightened.
It's first time that I have cries. First time for the 11 days. Sorry, emotions. I'm a woman. Please help us, I ask you. Next could be here. I ask you, go down.
Huddling in the basement, elderly men and women, young children, trapped, terrified after days and nights of bombings. We had to wait for a break in the explosions to get to the hospital. This is usually a maternity hospital, now an ER for soldiers bearing the brunt of an overwhelming Russian assault, even if some of the deepest wounds are on the inside.
Now, those explosions were getting close to the hospital, too, even as they were treating the wounded. The World Health Organization has verified that at least 14 hospitals have come under attack. Nora?
Charlie D'Agata, thank you for your reporting.